The future is bright for British tennis as Jack Draper wins his first ATP title, and in the same week, Katie Boulter adds to her trophy collection too. It must mean one thing: we're back on the grass. And before we go anywhere, make sure you've hit a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Let's get stuck into it. And finally, Britain has another champion. Jack Draper has done it on the men's side, and Katie Boulter has done it yet again on the women's. We've had Stuttgart won for Draper. We had Nottingham won again for Katie Boulter, defending her own title. Incredible. This is just what we need coming in to the grass court swing, and with Wimbledon just on the horizon, it really gives us some fresh hopes. Come on, we can do it. Do it for the British public. We need you right now more than ever. Let's go into Jack Draper first, and well, he defeated Matteo Berrettini. And Matteo Berrettini at the Boss Open, somebody he's sponsored by, and he gets beaten by Jack Draper. It's Battle of the Models in this final. You could say a model final. And Jack Draper, well, good-looking young chap from the UK. And Matteo Berrettini, say no more. We know how handsome he is as well. But this match was razor close. And Berrettini was the favourite coming in. But Jack Draper just held his nerve all the way through this tournament. Credit to him. He's really shown that he has come of age now and able to handle himself in the big moments. This was a massive tournament win for him, and I think that he can push on from this tournament win and really get some other tournaments under his belt now. He's just been waiting for this maiden ATP title. I mean, the only thing he's really done before this, I'd say, was the UTS that we were at, where he beat some convincing players in a more exhibition-style tennis. But now we're getting to see him really win on the big stage. If you see here, he defeated Nakashima in the semi-final, Tiafoe there, Marcus Giron, and friend of the podcast there, Sebastian Offner. A few three-setters in there, which just goes to show the weather conditions not as hot, so he's able to last the distance. And I actually quite like Jack Draper on the grass courts. It's just a true British thing, isn't it, to be good on grass? And when you're playing against Berrettini, not many people stand a chance in these tournaments leading up to Wimbledon. And Berrettini, he was the favourite for a reason. He hadn't even played much tennis coming in, but I feel that his game's so well suited the grass. He didn't need to, and he still got to the final. He'll be a danger at Wimbledon for sure, but so will Jack Draper. Crazy to think in this match, despite Draper winning, they both won exactly the same number of points in this match. So that gives you an idea of how close the match actually was. And you can see here, I was talking about models. The new British #1, Jack Draper, in a Vogue production. He loves the cameras. Look at him there. I mean, looking quite a lot of swagger there against the wall. Quite like it. Good look there for him. Hopefully he's getting paid well. And we got Ollie in here, obviously talking about him now up to a new career high ranking of number 31 in the world. The new British #1 as well. We have to make sure we mention that. This is huge for him. And the first British male singles player, not named Andy Murray, to win a grass court title in 21 years. I mean, that goes to show how big a thing it was for Andy Murray when he was doing it as well. I mean, it's incredible. Like, Jack Draper is of high stock and has the game for the grass. That massive serve, being a lefty, I think helps him as well. I think very dangerous on the ad side, as you saw. He served out with an ace on that side as well. And he came out and spoke and said, "I'm super proud that all of my hard work has paid off. It's been a struggle in the last couple of years, but I'm very, Very glad. Yeah, there he is. He was quite emotional after the win. Had some nice words to say about Berrettini as well. Obviously talking about injuries, coming back from injury. Yeah, I mean, it was a tough one. I feel like the tournament organisers were probably setting up for Berrettini winning, to be honest. But he played his part, but he wasn't able to win. Jack Draper won it. You've got to give him all the plaudits. Yeah, and like Mario Bacardi is saying here, 22 years old, 178 days. Jack Draper set to become the youngest British number one since Murray was his same age on the 9th of November 2009. I mean, wow, 15 years ago. It's flown by. Now, Murray obviously right at the end of his career, but he's had nice words to say about Jack Draper, and he's saying Jack Draper is to reach the top of the world ranking after becoming the British number one. He said, Jack, I think, has bigger goals to aspire than just being British number one. In my opinion, he can get right up to the top of the game, right to the top of the world rankings. I mean, definitely can. The only thing I'd say that he needs to improve on is just his stamina and just dealing with different environments, heat being one of them. If he can condition his body enough, then I think it's just a fantastic opportunity for him to go on and win some bigger tournaments. We got James Gray in as well here, talking about it, saying, obviously now the British number one for the first time. He said, I asked Andy Murray, Cam Norrie, Francis TFO, who lost to him last week, and Draper himself what it means. And in TFO's words, he's going to be the best British player for a long time. So they know how good he is. And we'll just finish on talking about his next tournament. Jack Draper in action. He's up against Navone in Queens. And if he wins that match, and if Carlos Alcaraz wins his first match, then they will meet in the second round. I mean, that one, it cannot be missed for sure. I think Draper has a real chance of defeating Carlos Alcaraz if that's who he plays. And I don't think anybody can really argue too much about that after that performance. That would have given him so much confidence, Jack Draper, winning Stuttgart. Now, can he push on? It's probably the worst time to have to play Jack Draper if you're any of the other players. And, well, Alcaraz has to get past Sulundalo first. That's a tough test in itself. I expect him to do so. And I can't wait to see if we get Draper versus Alcaraz, because Alcaraz won't have the crowd on his side either in that match. There will be a heavy Draper support, which Alcaraz not normally in the minority, has to be said, on a lot of his matches. But let's move over to the women's, and we have to applaud Katie Boulter. What an incredible performance. She plays 2 matches in one day to win Nottingham. She was a set down against Emma Raducanu. Obviously, they had to play interrupted. They had to play it the next day, which was the day of the final. So she came back from 1 set down. She won 2 sets in a row against Raducanu, won a semi-final, goes a set down to Pliskova in the final, and then comes back to win that as well. I mean, an incredible performance by Katie Boulter. And she has bolstered herself now at the top of the British women's game. I mean, it looked like Raducanu was going to have a little resurgence in this tournament, and she did play well in a couple of the matches. Even the first set tiebreak against Boulter, I thought, was very impressive. The way that she was able to grind it out, 15-13, something that a lot of critics would probably say that wasn't really in her game. But I think that she played well, and the fact Boulter came past a Raducanu in good form, it looks even more bright, the future for Katie Boulter right now. She shows she can come back from the jaws of defeat, and she's so good on a grass court as well. Wimbledon, I mean, got to be scary prospect to go and play someone like a Boulter right now. The whole crowd will be on her side, and it's title number 3. Back-to-back Nottingham titles. Well played, Katie Boulter. I mean, she just has the game for grass. I know we say a lot about the British players, but they do get to play a lot more on grass than a lot of the rest of the tour. When you're growing up in the UK, there are a lot more grass court tournaments to be playing, whereas I don't think you get the same sort of exposure in the other countries, probably more clay court dominated or hard courts. In the UK, yeah, there are a lot of junior grass court tournaments. I played a few when I was younger as well. Yeah, it's good fun. Very, very difficult surface to master, but she has definitely mastered it. And yeah, like it says here, winning 2 matches in one day. A huge week for the British number 1 on home soil. And she had her grandpa there as well. And as she says here, my whole heart. It's so sweet just to see him going to watch her. And then, yeah, she always goes over to him just to celebrate at the end. I mean, very touching moments from Katie Boulter. She's a real fan favourite as well. Everybody really warming to Katie Boulter. I don't think you can't warm to her. She seems like such a lovely personality and super friendly. And, well, she has a few good stats that come with her win as well. 19, and that is, in the last 3 years, only Ons Jabeur with 20 has won more grass court matches than Katie Boulter. I mean, this is incredible. We've got Alexandrova there, level with Boulter, Ostapenko with 16, and we've got Haddad Maia with 16 and Caroline Garcia with 16. So there you go. Katie Boulter, a grass court specialist, it would seem. Not just that as well, because another number, 115, and only Peyton Stearns in Rabat and Sabalenka in Madrid with 122. Stearns had 124, made more forehand winners than Katie Boulter in Nottingham. So only 7 less than someone like Sabalenka there in a tournament. That's incredible. And that is in a single tour event so far in 2024, Grand Slam excluded. You see there, 4th on the list is Ostapenko in Adelaide with 108. I mean, Stearns there, incredible. 124 in Rabat. That's a really impressive forehand winner rate. But Boulter just showing. I even think at Roland Garros, she actually played so well in the match against Paula Badoza. It was a real tough slog, and I thought that match could have gone either way. The crowd weren't on her side that day either. They were supporting Badoza, but she really got into the match. I thought that it was a bit of a 50-50. Fair play to Badoza though. She got it done. See if she turns up on the grass courts. Boulter, if she faces her again, I think she'll get her revenge if it's on grass. Well, obviously, there was another victory that was on grass, but it wasn't a Brit. It was somebody who's related to Katie Boulter in a different way. And it was, obviously, her boyfriend, Alex de Minaur. He was winning over in the Netherlands, but he wasn't there to watch Katie Boulter win her second Nottingham title. And she said, my boyfriend didn't make the trip, even though I thought he might after his win. We will have to be talking about that tonight and see if we'll still be together. I hope he's listening to this because we've got some talking to do. I mean, hopefully this is all in jest. There's a lot of laughing. It's a bit of a serious face here, though, that they've managed to do a still shot of. I mean, yeah, I'm sure she's definitely joking. These two, they seem like a right bundle of laughs, to be honest. And you can see there, this is the second time this season that the tennis power couple, Katie Boulter, Alex de Minaur, have won tour-level titles on the same week. Seem to really just push each other on. The last one was Alex de Minaur in Acapulco, when Katie Boulter won in San Diego. That was on March the 2nd and March the 3rd. And now, I'm not even going to try and pronounce it. Is it Schertenbosch? In the Netherlands, Alex de Minaur's won on the 16th. And Katie Boulter actually won on the same day. And there's a nice picture of them at the All England Club. Looking very, very suave. And these are the titles that Katie has won, 2 Nottingham titles and a San Diego in between. Will she get number 3 next year is the big question. And What do you reckon her odds are on taking home the Wimbledon title? Do you reckon she has a shot? I mean, does Draper as well? And the big thing I think that came from this as well is it's shocking that on the mainstream media, the BBC, there's a 25-minute news. We had 10 minutes of football. Then they went to the tennis and mentioned Emma Raducanu turning down the Olympic wildcard, a bit about Murray's final Wimbledon, but nothing said about Jack Draper or Katie Boulter actually winning titles. I mean, sort it out. What are you doing? This is the future of British tennis. And this is why people come over onto YouTube to find out people who actually care about tennis and actually the future of British tennis as well. This is the British number one and number one on the women's as well. They're both winning titles. Why are you not talking about it? Well, unless they do well in a slam, you're not bothered about them. Is that this is why it's hard for the British public to get to know their players and to get behind players, because the media is doing such a terrible job of promoting our homegrown talent. So come on, pull your socks up, mainstream media, and start reporting on our British superstars. But that's the great news for British tennis. Draper and Boulter, champions last weekend. Can they do it again come Wimbledon time? I can't wait to find out. Let me know how far you think they're going to get at Wimbledon this year in the comments section below. And if you haven't already, smash a like, subscribe, and join us for a podcast. I'm bringing out another one tomorrow.